Fixed dunes are some of the oldest dunes, so are usually found further back behind the beach and behind the mobile dunes. Due to factors such as the growth and death of a lot of plants over a long period of time, we end up with more organic material building up at the surface. So this starts to build up a layer of soil at the surface. This layer of soil can hold more water, can hold more nutrients, so it's more suitable for a wider variety of plants. A wider variety of plants means then a greater coverage of the surface sand. When we get almost complete coverage of the surface sand, we then call these dunes fixed. Conditions here then are suitable for a wider variety of species, so grasses such as red fescue, different mosses and lichens, and then with flowering plants as well. So in this short turf like we have behind me here, we might have things like common birdsfoot trefoil, wild thyme, rest harrow, and these can look really nice in the spring and summertime. This wider variety of plant species then supports a greater variety of animals, so there's more food, there's more habitat for them. So we might get lots of invertebrates, like beetles, grasshoppers, moths and butterflies. We could then get birds such as skylarks, buzzards, reptiles such as adders. You might find adders in a habitat like this, and then mammals as well. So definitely evidence of rabbits here, and also you might find things like badgers or even deer. There are a few different factors which can impact on these fixed dunes. Nitrogen pollution from the atmosphere can act as a kind of fertiliser, adding nutrients to the soil. Lack of grazing animals can reduce disturbance by them, allowing taller plants to grow. And then also you can get invasive species, and some of these can kind of look quite nice, but actually they're not good news for the fixed dunes. They tend to outcompete the dune specialist species. So all these factors kind of add up to the same thing, which is more plant growth by certain species, typically those that prefer higher nutrient levels. There are a few things that we're doing in the Dynamic Dunescapes project to address these problems. One of those is turf stripping, and that's literally as it sounds. It's taking a surface layer of vegetation from the dunes, which removes nutrients from that area, creates patches of bare sand, which gives space for the dune species to then recolonise these areas. We are also increasing the levels of grazing in some areas, and the goals here are to keep the vegetation shorter and to prevent that scrub from growing up tall. The grazing animals also go around trampling and creating pockets of bare soil, so this then creates opportunities for the seeds existing in the soil to germinate, so helping species diversity. The big animals that we're using, like cattle and ponies, also complement any grazing that might be happening naturally. So here, for example, this short turf would be kept this way by lots of rabbits coming out here and grazing at night. In certain locations, we're also removing invasive species and areas of scrub. So this can be done using quite big machinery, such as tractors and diggers, or it can be done using people power. So we're getting volunteers out who are cutting and raking and removing material to give those fixed dune species a chance to thrive again.